Sound roll, slate, scene 2, take 1, marker, and forward focus.
Slate, all right, cut, you're good.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sadler. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So let's talk about the Commercial Center. So when was the Commercial Center built or developed? And what is your current role in the Commercial Center?
My current role in the Commercial Center, well, I wear many hats. I'm the president of Commercial Center Business Association, which I founded and started in 2005, which is also part of Commercial Center Historic Society. I manage several websites for Commercial Center that I created, and I'm also a beauty salon and spa owner there for a Harmony Nail Spa since 2004.
Why did you establish the Commercial Center Historic Society?
Well, I established it because it was needed. It really was born out of a deep need for the community to come together. And after I opened in 2004, after I opened my beauty salon, I noticed that it seemed like people were just kind of living and working with blinders on. They had tunnel vision. They were doing a wonderful job with their businesses, great foods, great entertainment, so much to offer. But the peripheral outside wasn't being cared for. And when I asked why, everyone pointed a finger and wanted somebody else to do something. Oh, the county should do something. Oh, the property owner should do something. And after reaching out to the different organizations and owners in the county, I took it upon myself to start cleaning up the area and doing the things that other people thought someone else should do.
All right, cut. Sorry about that. We're just fixing something.
Sure.
You're doing great, Slate. Scene 2, take 2, marker.
Focus.
Set, cut. Are you good?
Could you restate what your current role is at the Commercial Center?
My role is, well, I wear many hats, and my role is the president of Commercial Center Business Association and Historic Society, which I founded and started in 2005. And also, I'm a beauty salon owner of a Harmony Nail Spa and Salon.
So when was Commercial Center built?
As far as I know, Commercial Center was opened in 1963, but I think they began with selling the land and the parcels and developing as far back as 1961, 1962.
Do you know why the Commercial Center was initially built?
Well, from my research, Las Vegas had outgrown Fremont Street.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
The Commercial Center, as far as I know from my research, was built because we had outgrown Fremont Street and they needed a new downtown. So there's a lovely flyer that's from 1963 that states Commercial Center, the new downtown. And it's pretty exciting. I think that they were just going with the natural evolution of the growth of Las Vegas.
So, what is the historical significance of the Commercial Center to the city of Las Vegas?
The historical significance of Commercial Center. Well, it's a huge historical significance. These are the original families of Las Vegas for the modernization of the business and commerce of Las Vegas from 1963. That's 60 years. And the movers and shakers of the day were the ones that were getting everything going.
To your knowledge, what celebrities frequented the Commercial Center back in its heyday?
Probably all of them. So, the celebrities that frequented Commercial Center back in the day. Probably everyone and anyone who was to be seen. From what I've been told, and also the research I've done, everyone from Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack to Elvis Presley, Fats Domino, and the list goes on and on.
What are some of Commercial Center's most iconic landmarks?
Commercial Center's most iconic landmarks, that would have to be the Las Vegas Ice Palace, where the first rock concerts of Las Vegas happened, including the Grateful Dead, and also Santana, and so many others. There's close to at least 100 concerts that happened there from 1963 and on, or about 1964. One of the other landmarks, which is unfortunately no longer there today, would be the Vegas Village Shopping Center. It was kind of the precursor to the Walmarts of the day and the Supercenter. It was touted as the largest department store in Nevada and possibly in the world at the time.
Remind me, when did you first come to the Commercial Center?
I first came to Commercial Center when I was just 16 years old. I just moved to Las Vegas from Los Angeles in 1992. We were on a school music field trip with Green Valley High School Choir. We went to Mara Lieberman's violin outlet. That was my very first introduction to Commercial Center.
At the time you came to Commercial Center, what sort of businesses were there?
I'm sorry, did you want me to repeat all of the questions?
Yeah, when I first came to Commercial Center.
When it comes to restating, you don't have to ask it again. You can just naturally let it flow into your answer.
If you're having trouble thinking of something, we can help you out.
When I first visited, there were businesses like Jackie's Hair Design or Italian Sausages. I'm just reading what's behind me on the green screen. I'm just reading what's behind it. When you first came to Commercial Center, what businesses were there? What businesses do you recall being there?
I don't remember much of anything from when I was 16, just the violin outlet, but I know that it was very busy and full. When I returned when I was 19 to go to beauty school, the shopping center was completely packed full of businesses. One of my favorites actually was the Psychic Eye bookshop. They had a huge bookshop there. I think it was one of the largest in town. They had all of the new age and mysticism. It was a really neat place.
I know you got more involved in Commercial Center when you were 19 and you started beauty school. After you started that, what sort of events do you recall happening at the Commercial Center?
When I was in beauty school, that was all I was really focused on. I would just go there, I went to my classes. At the time, I actually started going out to nightclubs in Las Vegas, where you really need to be 21 to go to bars and nightclubs, but somehow I made my way in. Before I knew it, in my early 20s, I was mostly frequenting some of the bars and places like that. I was hanging out at some of they had a lot of LGBTQ businesses back then. Well, they didn't even call them LGBTQ back then, but places like Cobalt and the Badlands Saloon, the Las Vegas Lounge. I don't remember a lot of events. Most of the events that I'm familiar with now, I remember it after 2004 when I opened my beauty salon.
In general, what sort of family businesses were present at Commercial Center?
Well, Commercial Center is all family businesses. There are no corporate chains there as far as I know, and it's been that way since 1963, so it's just been an amazing run of hundreds of wonderful and innovative small business owners that are bringing Las Vegas culinary delights, entertainment, unique boutiques, and shopping. It's really a very special place, and I really see it as a very special cultivator of American ingenuity and business ingenuity for the small business owner.
Back in Commercial Center's heyday, what role did it play for the Las Vegas community?
Well, let's see.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying take your time, but remember to reiterate the question.
Back in the heyday of Commercial Center, of course, I only came along in 1992, and I opened my beauty salon in 2004. And now Commercial Center celebrated 60 years last year. But from the stories that have been told to me... I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What did Commercial Center mean for the Las Vegas community?
I'm sorry, let's pause here. Okay, it's okay if I just move a piece of hair.
Yeah, sure.
So you have like one piece that's just hanging out. There you go.
Okay, thanks. And then you can go to the other thing. I'm sorry, I have to.
So, what did the Commercial Center mean for the Las Vegas community in its heyday?
What did Commercial Center mean for the community in its heyday?
Yeah, how did the community feel about Commercial Center? What did it mean to Las Vegas?
I think that Commercial Center meant what it means today for the community, what it meant in 1963. A place for the small business owner to really showcase themselves and to be successful, to engage with the community, really be a very special place of community, socializing, gathering for families. And really what we've seen over the years is several multi-generational businesses with the families involved all throughout the years.
So I know, right? At least at the time you came to Commercial Center, or even now, there was a big LGBTQ plus community in Commercial Center. To your knowledge, was that community present back in the 60s, 70s, back when Commercial Center was in its prime? Was there a big LGBTQ plus community in those times?
As far as my knowledge of LGBT businesses, going back to the original opening of Commercial Center, I'm sure there were some. Probably some kind of fashion designer, maybe some of the jewelers, or the more artistic type of businesses possibly. Of course, that was a different time, so the knowledge that I have about the growth of the LGBT businesses goes back, I think, more to the 80s, starting with Badlands Saloon. Might be one of the longest running gay establishments in Commercial Center. I think they go back to 1986, possibly. And then, when I moved in 2004, there were at least a dozen LGBTQ businesses. Of course, back then they were just considered gay businesses, or GLBT, actually. It was only 4 letters back then.
All right, that's what I've got for Act 1. And if we're ready, we'll move on to Act 2. I hope I did okay.
You did great.
Act 2 is when I'm most excited for it.
Roll.
Sound roll.
Slate.
Scene 2A, take 1.
Marker.
Move both of your focus.
Set.
I'm going to call you Paula. Paula.
Yeah, don't make me that old.
All right, good to go.
All right. So, Paula, just a little bit more on Commercial Center's heyday. What are some of the most notable bands you remember that played at Commercial Center?
Oh, notable bands at Commercial Center. The most notable bands at Commercial Center. The most notable bands at Commercial Center that I can remember from my research and stories told to me is The Grateful Dead with Santana opening Led Zeppelin, also The Doors with Jim Morrison, and actually 60 years to the day on October 21st, 2023, when we celebrated our 60-year anniversary. That was the day that Bob Marley and the Wailers played the Las Vegas Ice Palace there at Commercial Center.
So, I know you run a salon named Harmony. Why did you choose Commercial Center for that business? Why did you choose Commercial Center with Harmony?
Well, coming to Commercial Center with my beauty salon was actually kind of an accident, and I had a location on Maryland Parkway for about a year. Then I was on Paradise Road, and my assistant that was working with me at the time, we were looking for other locations to expand, and he said, I found this perfect place for you. I said, okay. So I go over to see the unit, and it was a little shocking at first. It was in 2004, and they were putting in new sidewalks and repaving the parking lot and new drains, so there was no sidewalk in front of the beauty salon. It was dirt, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. But there was actually a beauty salon there before, and it had the bones of what I needed for my business. So I thought about it, and for what I was paying for a room rental on Paradise, I could get a whole salon, like 866 square feet. So it was kind of a no-brainer. And then also it was a feeling of nostalgia. I went to beauty school there, and I have history there.
How would you describe the current state of affairs in Commercial Center today?
I'm very excited about the current state of affairs of Commercial Center. It's been going through quite a renaissance. And of course the work that I've done for the past 20 years, I hope that it's made an impact and a difference. I'm very excited to see the new businesses going in, like the Composer's Room with the entertainment they have, the 60th anniversary of the Q Club, the Commercial Center's oldest, longest-running business, continuously operating, and also Balkan Bar and Grill, beautiful space, La Vecindad. There's so many amazing restaurants. We're really a restaurant mecca. They build a restaurant row on Flamingo near Paradise. I call us Restaurant Square or Restaurant Circle.
What do you think were some of the reasons for Commercial Center's decline?
Well, some of the reasons for Commercial Center's decline really stem back quite a few years. It's not something that has happened most recently. It actually began towards the late 90s and the early 2000s, and I think with urban sprawl and the development of suburbs in Las Vegas and indoor shopping malls that were cool and nice to walk around in, there was disengagement from community-type places with an outdoor aspect like Commercial Center. And that really began a little bit of the demise of what we see in Commercial Center. But, everything happens for a reason and a purpose. And what happened is, at the time, many Korean businesses began to open in there. We were the original Koreatown, separate from Chinatown. And there was about 30 Korean-owned businesses when I moved in 2004. And they were, bustling and busy and had lots of customers. And it was really interesting. In getting back to the decline, I think what happened is people just stopped caring in a way. And they really kind of had these blinders on. They couldn't see outside of that. It was a little bit of a tunnel vision. And when I came in 2004, one of my friends, Steve, he says, Paula, you're really gifted, you're really talented. He said, you can walk into a situation and you can see everything that needs to be done. He says, you can see it like that. And I'm like, really? You think so? So for me, I guess I just saw the bigger picture. And it wasn't really that difficult to begin to fix. You know, when there's trash on the ground, you pick it up. If there's graffiti, you paint over it. And really, it's about taking pride in one's business and one's community, just like you would do at your own home. And that's the message that I wanted to bring to the community. Take pride in yourself and in your business. You know, if you're going to dress nice and look nice, you want your business and the surrounding community to be the same.
Going back to Commercial Center, well, not again, but talking about how you didn't really get much support from Clark County to get involved with the Commercial Center. I know you said they only gave you 5 gallons of paint or something like that. So can you talk a little bit about what you feel that the city did not do or could have done to prevent Commercial Center's decline?
I'm sorry, can you rephrase the question once again?
Just what action do you feel that Clark County could have taken to avoid Commercial Center being what it is now?
The history with Clark County and Commercial Center, going back in terms of looking at any demise of Commercial Center and a downturn of business in the community and greater challenges to the business owners, it really goes back to the late 90s and the early 2000s. And there was this wonderful event that happened in 2004 with new sidewalks and a re-slurry sealing of the parking lot. But from what I understand, actually one of the property owners had to sue Clark County at the time for these improvements. It was desperately in need of improvements. It was supposed to be taken care of. What happened was Clark County imposed a special improvement district on the area and backbilled or billed the business and property owners. I believe it was $10 million for the project, and there were different projects that were coming up. One that included water features, greenery, trees, shrubs, lighting, to even make it more nice and inviting, but no one wanted to pay the price tag. So they scaled it way back, and also that fell upon the business owners, and I had to pay, say, $60 a month, I think it was, based on my square footage, for 10 years for the improvements. And that was really, it didn't seem fair to the business owners at the time, especially, we really look at Las Vegas, this mega entertainment capital of the world, with huge revenues coming in from gaming and liquor licensing and taxation. All of these things, and we've been in this upward growth, but yet, here was this historic area, just kind of ignored and lost and forgotten. We're like, oh, we're on to better ventures now. But when I approached the property owners in Clark County in 2004, I was first working with Myrna Williams, and I contacted her office. She sent Danny Giraldo, a liaison, to come speak with me, and I showed him the graffiti and the trash and the abandoned cars, the different things that we needed. I had a whole list, and if no one else was going to do anything about it, I decided I would. And so they gave me 5 gallons of paint and some paintbrushes, a great start, and I got a volunteer. I put out a flyer for volunteers. I found one volunteer to come and help, my friend Joan Dupree, and she came out and we painted.